Welcome back to the GBGuns Armory, where we're looking back at some of the hundreds of firearms we reviewed over on the main channel, giving some after and later thoughts, and also bringing up discussion points relevant to that particular design. Today, in episode 9, the Arex Zero 2S. This is a neat one. I got to be the first person in the US to cover the Arex pistols. Of course, nobody cared. It wasn't until like a year later when Military Arms Channel did a video that suddenly they were really popular. This, if you're thinking it looks a lot like a SIG 226, you're not far off. It, to me, is a 4th generation removed alternative. So you had the 226, then there was the Zastava EZ99, EZ999, and CZ99. Don't worry, we'll get to those eventually in this series as well. A breakoff from Zastava, a private company called NB Enot, developed an enhanced version of that was even nicer and made with fresh, nice, commercial need to have good products tooling. Great gun. I've never been able to get one in the US, but they are pretty incredible. And then you had Arex in Slovenia, or Arex breakoff with the 01. We've got one of those. This 02S is a somewhat further modernization from there. So what's different from it, between it and the SIGs? Well, we've got ambidextrous mag release, truly ambidextrous, works from both sides. We also have a safety that can be armed in single or double action, so you can carry this cocked and locked if you want. You can carry it decocked and locked, or it's got a decocker, and that decocker is the same lever as the slide lock and slide release. So if I lock this open, the same lever drops it. Really hard to do with my index finger like that, and you see that we are still cocked. Swipe it down further, and there's a definitive, you can feel a difference step there to decock it. So you can run this gun in pretty much any way that you want. All metal hammer fired gun made on ISO 9001 certified machining and styling and all that. Like it's, by styling I mean their methods of production. A super modern, super nice facility. I haven't had the chance to go to, been invited a couple times and just wasn't able to make it. They have since sold out and I think are now owned by someone in the Czech Republic. I don't know if that's going to change the direction of Arex, but I do really enjoy the pistols. We've got nice machining on the front strap, some excellent texturing there, and these kind of giraffe scale looking grips. If I can get the light to hit it just right, you can see there's this bump right here. And what I found is that bump helps to keep my hands away from the controls. My support hand fits right underneath it. And what Tia found with her smaller hands, which I thought was fascinating, was it also helped fill her grip. So it makes for kind of a universal grip, which is one of the reasons why I haven't changed these. Plus the texture is just excellent. So it's a great pistol. It is probably the best that the 226 design can be. I mean, there is one step above this, the Arex Alpha, but I've never had one for review, so I can't speak to it. But the questions it brings up are people really looking for a double stack, or a hammer-fired all-metal double stack gun these days. It's heavier than most. It's larger than most for its barrel length and capacity. As a concealed carry option, it is certainly a worthy firearm. It did great in our tests, but it's kind of a big boat anchor to be hauling around. I could see it as a duty gun for sure. It's an excellent firearm, but I'm wondering if that's part of why these never really took off in the market. They did a lot of things right. We've got a blacked out serrated rear sight that is also a ledge, and they are steel. A single dot for the front sight. We've got a pop-up loaded chamber indicator on it. All the features, 3 slots of rail underneath. This should be a rockstar gun, and it performs like a rockstar gun, but didn't really take off. So I'm wondering, and this is where I'd like to hear your opinions, are things like this just kind of seen as range guns these days? Do you carry an all-metal hammer-fired double stack? Why do you think we're not seeing so much of these anymore? I know the multiple trigger modes can be confusing for folks who can't write in cursive either. However, it's really not that hard to learn, and if you want to, you can run it single action with safety the whole time anyways. You can act like double action doesn't even exist until you get a failure to ignite on a hard primer, and then you can just pull again. That trigger, by the way, if I can show you single action, is pretty nice. Take up to a wall, crisp break. Our double action, of course, is heavier because you have to pull the hammer back, but not a whole lot heavier, and it's actually pretty smooth. In fact, our friends over at Pulling Our Tactical have a straight trigger and a trigger travel adjustment modification for these, which is pretty cool. We have the straight trigger in another gun. The trigger travel adjustment plate got sent to me later, and pulling these apart is not exactly the most fun. Not super hard, but it's a little more involved than some other guns out there, so I just haven't messed with it much. Plus, I just like the gun as it comes out of the box. Really handsome design, very finely made. Might take 226 mags, if you guys can see the pattern there. But Global Ordnance, the importer, has plenty of mags here in the US, so mags aren't an issue. Why isn't this more popular? Is it well done job but a little too late for the market, or what do you think? You might be saying, well, this is not red dot ready. That's correct. There's supposed to be a compact version, although this is already 4" 15 round, but there's supposed to be a smaller one that is optic ready. I have not seen that yet. I've heard there are others coming. What are optic ready are the tactical models of the 01, the older generation of this. We might cover that in the next video, but it will definitely be covered later on. Anyways, Arex Zero 2S. I will put a link to my full review as a pinned comment. This is one that has a GBGuns Depot article on it. It's a great gun. Like, if you just want to have a comfortable, good range session, it's there, and nothing about the performance of this thing is going to let you down. Really cool pistol. Hope you guys had a good Christmas and are getting ready for a good New Year's. I'm looking forward to 2023 being gone. Let's start something new. Thanks for watching.